As well,
Wes is going live on,
or we hope so anyway.
hey, YouTube and Instagram. So today, Wes and I are going to be discussing our new course, Skoolie Academy. So thanks for joining us today. We're going to be answering your questions. I have a chat box in YouTube as well as Instagram, so we'll be going back and forth from there. Essentially, just the main goal of the course is to save you money. So Wes and I both made some blunders in our journey of Skoolie conversion.
For sure.
And we've learned things along the way from guys like Tony at AAA Bus. He's a bus dealer out of Phoenix. He has 13 years of experience, and essentially working with him, combining our knowledge and doing a lot of research online, we found the most asked questions and found the answers to them and included them in the course. So in the course, you're going to get everything from how to get your bus insured, how to register it, little tips and tricks on finding ways to get information from your bus. For example, what I did, it actually saved me from buying a bus with a ruined engine, is basically calling the school district and asking for the maintenance department. Once you get to the maintenance department, then you can ask for the lead mechanic of the bus fleet. And from that, I found that the bus I was about to spend about $6,000 on actually had a ruined engine. The 466E, Navistar put in the wrong seals on it, and if you don't use the right coolant, it starts eating the seals, and then water gets into the engine, and that essentially becomes like sandpaper, and the engine needs to be completely rebuilt. And that is a mistake that I almost made. So basically, just everything we learned in our journey, we're trying to provide it in the course, so those that are looking to buy Skoolies, they can learn from our mistakes, learn from our research, save themselves thousands of dollars by this investment. And if you are interested in the course, basically the way we're setting it up is just direct message us on Instagram or Facebook or through YouTube, and then we can get the pricing plan to you. So we have 3 models. One is $275, and what that does, it grandfathers you into every course that we make. There is a payment plan of $150 per month for 2 months, and then that is the same thing, it grandfathers in. And with those 2 options, then you're able to have one-on-one phone calls with Wes and I. We can go through your build, what you're trying to do, give you personalized advice, whether it be social media or how to find different materials for your bus, just our experience with that. And the last option is paying monthly. So it's $95 per month. So if you feel like you can get all the information you need in a month, you have that option as well. So just direct message us from there. So if anybody has any questions, you put it on Instagram or YouTube.
Yep, we're looking at both. I'm not sure what's up with my YouTube, but we'll see what happens. Technical difficulties on my side.
Well, right now, just to give people some context, we're out in the middle of the desert in the border of California and Arizona, so the cell phone reception is a little spotty. Once you live the digital nomad life, you live and die by cell phone reception. So
I can show them a little view with mine anyway.
Yeah, I'll do it on Insta as well.
Show them a little view of out the front windows, the coolest.
Sorry,
pretty
YouTube.
much. Yeah, this is where we're at now. It's a very cool place.
Just
out
living
here.
the dream.
Yep, out in the middle of nowhere. Choosing what we do every day. It's awesome.
Absolutely. So, out of the people that are watching on Instagram and YouTube, let us know in the comments if you are interested in buying a Skoolie. Are you in the market for a Skoolie? Because we see a lot of people buying buses sight unseen or not really knowing about engine and transmissions. They just see a bus that is running and go and pick it up and not know the pros and cons of the engine and transmission, the major components to look out for. So if you have any questions on that, or if you're in the market, just let us know.
Yeah.
It looks like JMK Mosley, where's the link provided? So in the description of my Instagram right now, there is a link to the $275, but if you're looking for some of the other payment plans, message Wes or I, and we can send that direct link to you, whether it be the monthly payment plan, or if it's if you want to do monthly, or if you just want to buy the course outright.
Right.
So,
what other questions?
Yeah, there's a couple people in there saying they're interested in buses.
Yeah, I'm considering it as a project.
Oh, I think they were asking what your hat was.
Yeah. Never mind. It's a hat. Yeah, it's a hat. I actually got this thing at Burning Man about, in 2012, actually. Yeah.
Wow,
It's my grandma hat. I love it.
The Rough Adventure. I'm looking into a 2001 bus. It has a 3126 Cat engine with an Allison 2500.
So yeah.
Quick, interesting thing about that Cat
engine.
3126. There's actually a bus parked about 4 buses down from us where he is stuck out here in the desert because the ECU or something's going on with it and it won't start. And it's very intermittent. We spent about a day, a group of us spent about a day trying to get that thing running. And a diesel mechanic out here specifically said, stay away from the Cat 3126. His words were, well, we'll do him a favor and push it off the cliff.
That's crazy.
So
yeah, and if you have to go get engine work done on a Cat, they're expensive no matter what Cat model it is. Preferably the DT466 or Cummins 8.3 would probably be the other 2 of the 3 that are good power plants for these buses. So
yeah, everybody I talk to, my personal experience, the 5.9's good. It's not as powerful as the 8.3. So if you're looking at 2 buses that has the Cummins 5.9, has the Cummins 8.3, I would most certainly go after the 8.3. They all have their issues, of course, but with the guy over there that's broke down, he's still not sure exactly what it is. But when he was broke down, I asked Tony at AAA Bus, should I have a spare ECU for my Cummins 8.3? And he's like, no, they're solid. Like, you don't have to worry about that. It's those Cat 3126s you have to worry about. So the person that asked, if you're looking at that Cat 3126, do not buy that bus.
That's right. Find
a bus with the Cummins 5.9, Cummins 8.3 with the Allison 3060 transmission, or the 645.
643.
643.
MT 643.
Yeah.
Yep. So that transmission combo is great, and the 5.9 or the 8.3 are good motors, and the DT466.
So Mike bought a bus, started tearing out the seats out of his 2004 International with the 7.3 T44E.
Yeah.
Congratulations, bud.
Yeah.
You got a little work ahead of you.
Yeah, for sure.
My best adventures asked, so why build a bus versus the cost of a heavy-duty truck and trailer? So I was considering actually doing a 5th wheel conversion, and 2 reasons with that. So the cost of a decent diesel truck is going to be from $25,000 to $40,000 up.
Yeah.
When it came down to buying the bus, I got the Cummins 8.3 with the Allison 3060, just a rock solid power plant, and also the weight capacity. I was going to do a 5th wheel for boondocking, living off the grid. It couldn't carry that much weight, where with this bus has 36,000 pound load capacity, and I was able to throw in 200 gallons of fresh water. Now, just even that alone, and you look at a 5th wheel and it has 100 gallons and you add an extra 100 gallons to that, you're looking at 900 pounds, and typically those types of rigs only have a 1,500 to 2,000 pound range that you can add extra stuff. That's not your pots and pans, that's not your clothes, that's literally just water. So with this, with the 200 gallons of fresh water, I still have about 6,000 pounds to play with in terms of what I can add to the bus, and that's after the complete build. So everything in here right now is part of the build, and I have that just free to use for whatever. So that's why I went with the bus.
And the buses are built like tanks. They're actually very safe. They're made to save children. So I mean, they're a great platform to build on, and far less expensive than doing the 5th wheel and truck combo for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jacob asks, would the registration info help in registering it as the RV, the van? I think he means a bus as an RV, if not just a bus. I'm debating between a conversion and a van conversion and a small Skoolie. So in the course, I go over how I registered my bus as a Vermont RV. So I didn't have to take it to Vermont, didn't have to do anything with that. It was literally just sending in a bill of sale and a copy of the title with $209, and 3 to 4 weeks later I got my plates and the bus was registered as an RV. I'm still going to re-register it elsewhere, but just having it started out as an RV from the very beginning just takes the difficulty level down, because 1, it's easier to get insured. Number 2, if you take it somewhere to get it registered, and it's already registered as an RV, it gives you a step up. So with the mini Skoolie versus a van, vans are great rigs. I mean, you can blend in anywhere. Obviously, you can make them the beautiful spaces. With a mini Skoolie, obviously, you're going to stick out more. So you got to really weigh your pros and cons of your personal situation.
Yeah.
But with the Skoolie, you will get a diesel engine. You will get most likely an Allison transmission. You'll just have a much better platform to begin with in terms of longevity, because typically, unless you spend high dollars on a van, you're not going to be getting a diesel. You're going to be getting a gas engine. So just keep that in mind, Jacob.
Yeah, and again, the cost, you know, buying a van can far outweigh the expense of buying a used bus for sure.
So my best adventure replied, for $30K I can get a nice truck and travel trailer. For $60K I can get a much nicer setup. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're able to find a diesel truck that has good legs under it and doesn't have a ton of miles on it for, I guess that would be $20,000 and then $10,000 on the trailer, yeah, you could totally do that. But I would rather just have the Cummins 8.3 and the Allison 3060 for $3,000 and build on top of that. Because the one thing with the trailer you got to keep in mind, again, weight capacity for me, because I'm going off the grid, but you got to realize that those travel trailers are built like they're literally just sticks and glue. And if you've ever seen a picture, like, just do yourself a favor, Google what happens to a travel trailer when it turns over on the highway. It literally looks like 5 propane bottles went off inside of it.
It explodes. There's nothing there.
They're not built that well. Well, with the bus, I was able to build with 3/4 plywood. I was able to build it with the best components I can get, where it's going to be completely fine. So definitely keep that in mind.
Yep.
All right, so we got some YouTube.
Got some questions over on YouTube.
Yeah. It looks like he wrote over here.
Yeah, thanks for the great comments, guys.
No Luck asked, biggest problem that you've had with this solar, and what would you have done differently? So overall, with your bus, what would you have done differently?
There's quite a few things I would have done differently. I can't really pop, I don't have anything right off the top of my head, but as you work through your project, you definitely evolve in your ideas for sure. And once it's done, you're like, oh man, I wish I maybe would have done this or done that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my layout and my solar setup and all that for the most part. Yeah. Just minute little things I would have changed,
Yeah, I would mount my panels a little bit differently, because we have them up on the roof deck. They're going to get moved to the roof.
Yeah.
But my solar is getting installed. We're laying it out tonight and starting on it tomorrow. So I'll let you know once I get everything figured out. But I will be doing 1,000 amp hours lithium with Victron charge controllers and inverters, so it should be pretty solid.
You're going to be my shore power now instead of the opposite.
Yeah, so my solar's been delayed over and over again. So basically I have an extension cord running from Wes's bus in my window to power my laptop, because I need power for my laptop.
Business, yeah.
So Kirk asked, I'm looking to build our car hauler cargo trailer. Would this course benefit someone other than building Skoolies? So to be completely honest, this is definitely geared more towards Skoolies. However, our next course will be more building, but it'll just be roof raise. Maybe the third course we produce, which will be more interior build, how that whole process works, might be more your speed. But this course is completely predicated upon Skoolies. So it's like, for example, there's a 45-minute video on every component to look at on your bus before you buy it, what the red flags are, what to look for when if it's leaking, just anything to look for when you start that thing up. Go back to the engine, look for these red flags, because these components in these buses, the P pump is anywhere from $1,800 to $3,000. The air compressor is $1,000 to $2,000. The fan is, the hydraulic fan is anywhere from $500 to $1,000, and that doesn't include the shop time to get it replaced. So shops usually cost anywhere from $100 to $150 an hour to do that, and a P pump is about an 8-hour job. So you really start to understand, if you're able just to take a quick peek and have that information and know what you're looking for, that's going to save you anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 off the bat. It could easily cost you way more when you buy the bus.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a special license. Whoa. Sorry, the
jumped up in queue big time.
Jumped Sold the Class A for the Skoolie. I didn't like the way it was built. I didn't like its carrying capacity for boondocking. Ceiling will be done later. How many liters does your bus use in 100K? Yeah, you're from Europe. I'll do miles per gallon, and you can go from there.
Convert it.
I get 7.5 to 8 miles to the gallon in the bus. Weather pilot asks, going to do a backup camera. I do have it, and that will be installed before the ceiling, of course.
Yeah.
A couple days ago, I bid on a 2004 International with a 7.3 diesel. Auction ends the 4th. Good luck, bud.
Yep, good luck on that.
Would you recommend the 7.3?
7.3s are pretty decent, yep. I would.
Like to know what transmission he has.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, 7.3 is a pretty good engine.
Can you touch base on yours?
Especially like pre-2002. So after 2002, you know, I'm not even sure they made a 7.3 after 2002. But anyway, pre-2002, they're good. What'd you say?
What would you recommend in terms of your transmission? Because can you touch base on how you bought your bus and the drivetrain you have and what changes you'd make?
Yeah, so I've got the Cummins 5.9, and you know, it's a little underpowered. I can beef it up if I wanted to, but I'm thinking about maybe doing a swap. I've got the AT545 Allison transmission, and it's kind of undesirable. This MT643 is definitely the way to go with a mechanical type setup like my engine is. It's all mechanical. There's no electronics on it, so I could put a 3060 on it, but then I would have to put an electronic, you know, the ECU. I'd have to get a computer and all that stuff to go along with it. So I'm trying to stick all mechanical the best I can. There's a question on your deal, Wes, what do you charge for a roof raise? Doug asked that. There's many variables that determine that price, of course, or the end cost. You know, if you're going to have an entry door relocation, or you know, changing out to an RV door, how many windows you're putting in it, or if you know, want me to add any windows, you know, at all. Window in a transition area, depending on the type of transition you do. You know, because you can go straight up with a roof raise, or you can put a nice angular transition from the very front back, or you can go back a couple ribs and do from the second to third rib or hat channels. But on average, what I tell people is anywhere from about $4,000 to $8,000 for a roof raise, and those variables will determine, you know, the lower or high end of that range, plus materials, which are normally, you know, for the sheet metal and the square tubing and all that to get done, about $2,500, $2,000 to $2,500, depends on where you're at in the country, or where you're at in the country. And then what I have been doing is also, you guys pay my fuel to get me to you, if that's the case where I have to drive to you guys. I do fly out every now and then for some people as well, if they have the tools and that sort of stuff at their, you know, place of business or home or wherever I'm going. If they've got the tools, I can just utilize their stuff and hop on an airplane. And that's definitely usually a little cheaper, or a lot cheaper than fuel to get me there. So yeah, there's many options that determine the final price for sure.
Yeah, and with the course, Blue Velvet asked the cost of the course. So there's multiple options. You can do monthly for $95, one-time purchase for $275. With that $275, you're grandfathered into every course that we do together. And the other option is $150 for 2 months, and that grandfathers you into every course that we do as well. You can message me on Instagram, and you can also message me on Facebook, or send me an email that's linked to my YouTube account, and then we can send you the link that you're interested in terms of pricing. And later on, that will be in on Facebook as well, where I'll link all the different plans and what they are. So apparently we lost signal there for a little bit. We are in the middle of the desert, so
hopefully you guys can hear us. Did you answer the course would be a good for a cargo trailer build out?
Where'd you see that at?
Kirk Emerson, you dropped. Did you answer if the course would be good for a trailer build out? So you did answer that, I think. But,
yeah, I did answer if the course would be good for a trailer build out.
But we dropped out, apparently.
Yeah. So trailer build out, not so much. It's specific towards Skoolie. What's your opinion on a small Skoolies versus shuttle bus to build out? Pros and cons. So, I mean, there's a shuttle bus conversion right over next to us. Pros and cons are built completely differently. The shuttle bus will be built out of fiberglass on the outside, but we have seen great conversions.
Yeah,
But
personal preference, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, they're both built pretty good. Steel's definitely, you know, if you can get all complete metal bus, you're definitely a little better than the shuttle buses, but they work.
Absolutely.
Yep.
They will have typically the diesel with a decent transmission as well.
One cool thing about shuttle buses is since they are fiberglass, you don't have that condensation buildup as bad as you do in a metal bus if you don't spray foam, of course. You know, there's a lot of thermal break, you know, that the fiberglass offers where metal doesn't. So.
Was it hard to insure your bus with the roof raise, Wes?
No, not at all. My State Farm's been really good. They've treated me real well. They actually have a plan for Skoolies, so State Farm is definitely my recommendation for looking for insurance.
And State Farm's who I have my insurance through as well.
And they are independent owners of each branch of State Farm, so if you call one, they may tell you no, call another and talk to them. Maybe they can seek out a little more information or just know something more about it. So,
is it harder to have a back porch on a rear engine? Exactly how much harder? Sounds like they already bought a bus and they're thinking about a back porch.
It can be, for sure. You know, the problem is with that back door, you'd have to put your back porch on really low, and then when you go through dips and stuff, it's more than likely going to drag the ground. So the higher you can get your porch, the better. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend a porch on a back deck or a rear engine bus.
Ground clearance. I would potentially use it in fields for different music festivals and possibly off-the-grid uses. What should I look for in ground clearance aspects?
So these buses are basically pretty standard in their height. The step entryway is probably your lowest point on these buses. So they're probably, man, I don't know, a foot, maybe 14 inches at the most off the ground. So that's going to be your main. You probably don't want to do anything lower than that, of course. Just use some common sense when you're driving around. We're on BLM land here, and there we can definitely get ourselves into some problems. But you just use some common sense. Drive the flat roads best you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't had any issues. I do know that the conventionals, the ones with the engines out front, they typically have a little bit better ground clearance, but you still have the issue with the entry door. So you'd have to do some custom modification to lift that up. I mean, that's not really an issue for younger people, but if you do have some mobility issues, obviously you're going to have to be dealing with that. For my bus, it's the same way, but we've gone over some fairly gnarly roads here in Arizona back in BLM land, and you know, no, knock on wood, no issues whatsoever, because I got the All-American chassis as well with my Bluebird, which is a little bit heavier duty suspension. So if you are looking at buses, the All-Americans tend to have a better suspension. The Dougie asked, do you know anyone that has installed a methanol water injection system? Do you know anybody that's done that?
I don't know anyone personally that has done that, but I have heard some pretty good things about it.
Really?
Yeah, definitely make your engine run just a little bit cooler as well. So.
Yeah, my best adventure, window removal and insulation. I definitely would not suggest doing that if you're going to be, you know, doing a full-time home out of this. It's definitely something that's worthwhile. How long is your bus, Wes?
My bus now is 39.5 with the back deck. I added 5 foot on the back, so it originally was 34.5 foot. So it's got a pretty small or short wheelbase, which is kind of nice in turning radius and stuff. One thing I do need to always consider though is my tail swing, because I'm hanging out pretty far past my rear axle. So if I'm taking a right-hand turn here in the States, you know, the right-hand turns are the toughest, and I can sideswipe a car really easy. So just got to be conscientious of the tail hanging out there.
And John asks, do you recommend the hat channels from Colorado Custom Coachworks?
I've done 5 buses now. 2 of those buses I use those, and they save so much time. They're very nice. If you can get your hands on some, I would definitely do that for sure. I would continue using them for every roof raise I do from this point on for sure.
And Kirk asked, the rear gearing. Do you have any insights on rear gearing and how yours is working?
So I've got the 545 transmission, and I've got the 444 gearing on my back, or in the differential. If I change out to a 410, I'll definitely get a little better speed. So we're probably, I'm in debate now what we're gonna do, but yeah, 444, you'll do decent. About 55 is gonna be your average speed. 410, you'll get a little more speed out of it for sure.
Yeah. And again, if you have any other questions, let us know. But if you are interested in purchasing a Skoolie, the course is designed for you. It's not so much for shuttle buses. It's not for vans. Basically, this course is literally just the components of a bus, how to register it, and how to get it ready for conversion, as well as giving you a little bit of insight of what you're actually going to get yourself into. Because everybody thinks they can buy these buses cheap, and you can. But if you have a major component fail out of nowhere, I mentioned before, the pressure pump can go out on you, and that could be a $3,000 part, not including shop labor, and you paid $2,500 for your bus. Now you have a bus on the road. You either have to haul to a scrapyard if you're not willing to drop an extra $4,000 into it, or drop an extra $4,000, because having contingency plans and knowing what you're buying from the beginning is step one that everybody overlooks. They get so excited, they see all these profiles on Instagram. We contribute to that, I guess.
Definitely.
But you see like all the cool places we're going and everything, you get excited, and then you go out and buy a bus that is not what you want whatsoever. You're literally building a foundation on what you're going to spend 6 months to a year and a half of your life, and a lot of times longer, on something. You're building that foundation on sand. So you really need to know what to look for, what major components show what signs of wear, and how you can see that just by opening up the hood and looking into the bus, and also how to get that information from different people, like the lead mechanics at different school districts. Be able to talk to them directly and figure out what exactly is happening with the bus. When I called the lead mechanic, he told me that the AC was out in this, which I did not care about whatsoever. That they had an ABS light on, did some research and found out that's a $100 sensor. It'd probably be about an hour and a half worth of shop time. So that'd be a $200 to $300 fix. And, I made the mistake with the tires, where the school district switched out the tires from the pictures that were online when I bought it, which is a very common thing. So it's just going through all these different steps, basically investing $275 into a course that will save you thousands of dollars and tons of research, many hours. Because the analogy I used before was, how much is your time worth? If you pay yourself $20 an hour to do all this research on your own, are you really going to get that return on investment, where you can just do one investment now and then have all the courses we produce in the future, as well as all the information in one spot in a course that would take you 4 to 6 hours to go through and learn all this information and be able to take that into your own build? And if you are interested, you can message Wes and I either on Facebook, Instagram, or on my YouTube channel, the business email over in the About section. You can find my email, you can message me. Let us know what payment plan you're interested in. It's $275 for the whole course, grandfathered in. You can do 2 payments of $150 to get the course grandfathered in as well. So that's all the courses that we're going to be producing. Or you can do $95 per month, one-time purchase per month. And if you feel as though you can get through the course, learn everything you need to know in a month, then you're good to go. Then you just not re-up, and you're good, and you have the course. So we will answer some more questions.
Yeah, we've got a lot of upcoming courses coming up as well, so we're going to have a lot of detailed information for sure.
Yeah, so the next course is going to be how to roof raise, how to demolish your bus, tips and tricks with that, and how to do a roof raise. So those that are starting their Skoolie journey right now, this is a perfect time to get in, because then you're going to be able to get info from here on out from all the builds that we do.
Yeah. There's one in here, not sure where it is now. Basically, someone was asking if we know anyone doing interior builds. Give either Chris or I a message. We do have a guy here, Wonderboom. He's really looking to start doing some interior builds, and he's a master craftsman with woodwork. So he'd be a really good resource. So if you're serious about that, either message one of us, and we'll get you in touch with him.
So Tom Anderson asked, what engine transmission would you recommend for a shuttle bus conversion? And the thing is, that's outside of my scope.
It's outside of mine as well. I don't know much about the shuttle buses, but I'm assuming they probably have 7.3s in them, some of the older ones, and they're a decent motor for sure.
have you ever needed to use chains in winter? If you have, are they hard to install on a bus, or do you just avoid the snow? What about you?
Avoid the snow the best I
Same.
can, for sure.
Yeah, if it snows, then I'm grounded.
But you can get chains and throw them on. They're not that big of a deal.
Marvin asks, going to Alaska, not sure. That bus I did on is automatic, has a hood and 11 windows. So last year for the 7.3, essentially the power stroke. When I'm ready to do the solar run wires, I can hire you to help me with it. We know a guy that does solar installs.
Yep, we got a good guy doing solar. It's getting ready to start doing solar installs more than likely. So he's a genius at it. Did he mention a price? Because I lost internet.
Yeah, so Blue Velvet asked for price. So you can pay $95 a month, or you can do $275 to be grandfathered into all the courses we do. The first 10 signups get a private 1-hour phone call with Wes and I to discuss your build, what you're looking at. You can also do that with a payment plan, $150 a month, or like I mentioned, the $95 per month. If you can knock out the course in a month, get all the information you need to save you some money in the future. So we'll answer a couple more on Instagram, and we're gonna jump off here.
Yeah, we've been on 31 minutes.
Jacob, thanks for considering us, bud. I'm confused about the electrical inside the bus. Keep it 220 or 12 volt. Can you shed light on that, Wes?
So I'm not sure what you mean by keep it 220 or 12 volt. My recommendation honestly would be to run either a 24 or 48 volt solar setup. It's a more efficient way to use the power, and then you can invert that power with an inverter to run anything AC. Some inverters, such as mine, runs 220 as well. So I run my AC on my air conditioner on 220 power. But yeah, 12 volt works just fine. I think you're doing 12 volt.
I'm doing 12 volt.
12 volt system. But I mean, he's throwing tons of power in there, so he's gonna be fine. But if you're looking for a more efficient use, yeah, 24 or 48 volt is definitely more efficient to prolong your battery life.
And Kirk asked the best state to buy and convert to motorhome. So Kirk, I mentioned this before, sorry to those that have heard this before, but there is the Vermont workaround. We have it in the course where essentially you can send a bill of sale of your purchase of your bus along with a copy of the title to Vermont. They'll send you back a registration. The bus will be registered as an RV. It's $209 for 2 years. So whenever I do go into re-register the bus, once I finally find my state of residency, the bus is converted, it's already registered as an RV. It's just going to help me that much further. So it doesn't matter what state you're trying to get into, you're already going to be that much further ahead. And also, it was easier for me to actually get the bus insured because of that. So I was able to get insurance. I was able to have the opportunity to have an easier route in the future when I do register the bus and get my ID and actually become a resident in one state and have everything set there. So, once again, if you are interested in the course, just get a hold of one of us and we'll send you the payment plan. Like I said, the first 10 people that do sign up, they get one-on-one coaching, if you will, from Wes and I, going over your different options. Maybe look at some buses online for you, pick out which bus we would, possibly go for.
Good recommendations.
Yeah, and kind of go over the red flags and figure out if that's really the bus for you. And also we work with Tony over at AAA Bus in Phoenix. So if you are wanting to go the dealer route, have an actual shop look over your bus before they sell it, that is a option. And again, in the course, we go over pros and cons of that. We go over pros and cons of buying a half converted bus, pros and cons of buying a converted bus somebody already did that's been on the road for a year. Like if I could do this all over again, that might have been what I did after all the work and effort I put into this. Like granted, it wouldn't be the build that I have now, but if you look at a year and a half of your life, like how much is that actually worth? I mean, I learned a ton. It's been the greatest project of my life, but that's not for everybody. Not everybody makes their money online and able to play around with the bus all day. So once again, that's all in the course. If you are interested, just message us. We appreciate everybody out there that's watching us.
Everyone. Yeah, thank you guys so much. You guys have been awesome, and we're super happy to be inspiring you guys to do something, that's not norm, so very
Absolutely.
cool. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks. See ya.